Hello friends, this is Supriya Mogle. I'm working as an assistant professor at Center for Distance Education, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I'm here to discuss about FDI in India. In my previous video, we have learned what is FDI. We have, learned that definition and meaning, etc. So in this video, I'm going to share some current scenario regarding FDI. Okay, if you get one question on a short note of FDI or anything about FDI, so you can write these points also. These are also recent scenario of FDI, so it is helpful to write it. We'll see. So the introduction: foreign direct investment in India is major monetary source for economic development in India. Foreign companies invest directly in fast-growing private Indian businesses to take the benefit of cheaper wages and changing business environment of India. So as we have seen in the previous video that FDI means foreign company is going to invest in the Indian company. Okay, why they are going to invest? Because in India it is changing the business environment and you are getting cheaper wages also. Labor cost is also very low in India, and there are so many positive impact to the home country also and to the host country also. Host country means, suppose I have taken the example like India and USA, like, okay, your USA investing in Indian company. So what is the uh, benefit for the USA? So technology can transfer. Okay, technology means they will learn something new from India and they can use that in host country. Or suppose they are coming to the India, so Indian companies will also get some additional assistance of technology from that country, so it is also beneficial for India. Then then HR development is there, employment generation is there, improvement in BOP, that is balance of payment will going to increase because of this investment. And in the home country you are going to learn some skills which are used in foreign countries. Or you can improve your political relation with the countries, with other countries, and export will increase. And if the export will increase, then your balance of payment will also increase, and that means you are doing best, and you are it is useful for your economic development in India. So these are some importance, or these are some benefits for the host country as well as home country. So next is economic liberalization started in India in a wake of the 1991 economic crisis, and since then FDI has steadily increased in India, which subsequently generated more than 1 crore jobs. As I have said, it is useful for employment generation and HR development. So it has seen that they have generated more than 1 crore jobs in India. Okay. So there are two routes of which India gets FDI. First is automatic route. By this route, FDI is allowed without prior approval of government or Reserve Bank of India. So another country which wants to invest in your country, there are also some restrictions, or there is some procedure. Okay, you have to take some permission or approval from others. But there are two routes: automatic route and government route. In automatic route, FDI is allowed without prior approval by the government or Reserve Bank of India, and government route means prior approval by the government is needed via this route, and the application needs to be made through foreign investment facilitation portal, which will facilitate single window clearance of FDI application under the approval route. So these are some government initiatives, okay, which have taken by Indian government. So the government of India has amended FDI policy. Amended, okay, this is amended means they have changed something. So they have amended FDI policy to increase FDI inflow. In 2014, the government increased the foreign investment upper limit from 26% to 49% in insurance sector. It also launched a Make in India initiative in September 2014, under which FDI policy for 25 sector was liberalized further. As of April 2015, FDI inflow in India increased 48% since the launch of Make in India initiative. As I think you know, this Make in India initiative by the government of India, they want, the motto behind this Make in India was, you are going to manufacture everything in India only. Okay, raw material is also going to taken from India and manufacturing in India only. So that is Make in India. And India was ranking 15th in the world in 2030 in terms of FDI inflow. It rose up to ninth position in 2014, while in 2015 India became top destination for the foreign direct investment. So the sectors, during 2014 and 16, India received most of FDIs from Mauritius, Singapore, Netherlands, Japan, and the US. On 25 September 2014, Government of India launched India Initiative, in which policy statement on 25 sectors were released with relaxed norms on each other. Means there are 25 sectors they have approved for foreign direct investment in India. So for from that 25 sectors, we are going to see some important sectors. Okay, first is infrastructure. So 10% of India's GDP is based on the construction activity in India, and Indian government has invested dollar 1 trillion on infrastructure from 2012 to 2017. 40% of this USD 1 trillion has to be funded by the private sector, and 100% FDI under automatic route is permitted in construction sector for the city and the township. So this percentage you have to remember for which sector how much percentage is permitted. Okay, so for infrastructure it is 100%. Okay, automotive FDI is automotive sector was increased by 89% between April 2014 to February 2015. India is the seventh largest producer of vehicles in the world with 25.5 million vehicles annually. So 100% FDI is permitted in the sector via automatic route, and automobiles share 7% of India's GDP. So total GDP is, here they have told that 10% of India GDP is based on construction, where 7% India GDP is based on the automobiles. So the next sector is pharmaceuticals. Indian pharmaceutical market is third largest in terms of volume and 13th largest in terms of value. Okay, Indian pharma industry is expected to grow 20% compound annual growth from 2015 to 2020, and 74% FDI is permitted to this sector. Just like service, FDI in service sector was increased by 46% in 2014 and 15. It is USD 1.88 billion in 2017. 17. Service sector includes banking, insurance, outsourcing, research and development, courier, and technology testing. An FDI limit in insurance sector was raised from 26 to 49% in 2014. So you can see everything is increased after 2014. Okay, if you remember, government of India is changed in 2014, that is BJP, when Modi Sarkar was, you know, uh, is working since 2014, and they have actually worked very well. Okay, on the basis of international trade or FDI, etc. They have worked very well. Next sector is railways. 100% of FDI is allowed under automatic route in most of the areas of railway, other than operations like high-speed train, railway electrification, passenger terminal, mass rapid transport system, etc. Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed corridor project is single largest railway project in India, other being CSTM Panvel suburban corridor. Okay, then chemicals. Chemical industry of India earned revenue of USD 155 to 160 billion in 2013, and 100% FDI is allowed in chemical sector under automatic rule, but except hydrocyanic acid, phosgene, isocyanate, and other derivatives. Production of all other chemicals is delicensed in India. The next is textile. Textile is one major contributor to India's export, nearby 11% of India's total export is textile. This sector has attracted about USD 1,647 million from April 2000 to May 2014, and 100% FDI is allowed under this. During year 2013 and 14, FDI in textile sector was increased by 91%. Indian textile industry is expected to reach up to USD 141 billion till 2021. Okay, so and next is airlines. Foreigner investment is scheduled or regional air transport service or domestic scheduled passenger airline is permitted to 100 with FDI, up to 100% permitted under automatic route, and beyond 49% through poor existing airport under automatic route. So here only you have to remember some these sectors which are having a maximum percentage that is permitted by the government of India. So there are 25 sectors total, but you have to remember only these 5 to 6 sectors which are having 100% FDI permission. So thank you so much. I hope you understood the concept, and this is the current scenario. This is the supplementary information for your FDI concept. You can write this in the exam. Okay. Thank you.